Lentil tofu has been popping up all over the internet recently, and I thought I might give you my own touch. Here we're using an organic black lentil. Now I've soaked these for a couple of days, not intentional, I just haven't really gotten around to it, but you can see we got some fermentation happening, and that's going to help remove some of those anti-nutrients that we have heard that are in plant foods such as phytates, which inhibit iron and zinc being absorbed in the body, but that will get removed in the cooking process anyway. So you don't have to soak your lentils for a couple of days, but for this recipe you do have to hydrate your lentils for roughly 6 hours or overnight. And you want to remove the soaking water and give the lentils a wash. This is going to make it easier on the digestion. Now I found when I use red lentils instead, which most recipes do, the texture inside came out like mushy peas. Whereas when you include the skin of the lentil, you actually get a better texture. Now the skin of the lentil actually contains high amounts of phytonutrients, specifically flavonols, which is a powerful antioxidant. Now the darker the lentil, the higher the antioxidant content. Now here I'm putting 3 cups of hydrated lentils and equal parts water and just a bit of salt. Now you can add other spices like maybe some garlic powder, but lentils have a lot of flavor in them. They give a very peppery flavor, so definitely don't add any pepper. Now majority of the time I use black lentils, but also because it has a higher protein content compared to the others, with say red lentils and French lentils containing around 9 grams per quarter cup, whereas these black lentils contain up to around 13 to 16 grams of protein. So that range comes from what the growing environment is, such as the soil quality and if they're grown organically. And if you're buying organic lentils, they might have a bit more protein, but they definitely will have higher polyphenol and mineral content. So just blend your lentils till they're creamy and smooth and add them to a cooking pot. Now, all the recipes online say to cook on low to medium heat. That is going to take forever. I start on high heat and then drop the temperature slowly and constantly stir, and it should be finished in about 10 minutes. Now you can use a pot or a Tupperware container. The lentil tofu will not stick to the sides. Here I'm just using a silicone baking tray. I personally eat lentils from French to red to black since they are easy on digestion and a great primary source of protein. If you are starting out on a vegan or plant-based diet and your gut has a low tolerance for fibrous foods, the rule is the smaller the bean, the less fermentable they are by your gut microbes. Now, why have I talked about the antioxidant and polyphenol content in lentils? Well, lentils have actually the highest polyphenol content among most beans compared to chickpeas or soybeans, as well as them containing a high amount of different types of fiber. Now that will reduce the glycemic index, meaning you'll digest it slowly. And I've noticed this when I eat lentils. I feel full and satiated long after I've eaten them. Now I like to make this in bulk. You can see the recipe in the show notes, but this comes out to around 4 servings, and 1 serving being 250 grams. Now you might think that's pretty low in protein, but you have to consider other parts of the dish, what you're eating it with, and also what you're eating through the day to get your total protein intake. And as I said before, it's a great source of iron. You're getting about 6 to 8 milligrams of iron. And for me as a male, I've nearly hit my recommended daily intake. Now I want to cook these 2 ways, one in the oven and one here on the pan, just to see what the best cooking method is. You can kind of see where this recipe is going with the red chili flakes and now the wakame or seaweed. Wakame, nori, seaweed is a great source of iodine. I try to eat this a few times a week, just 2 to 6 grams, which you see here meets the recommended daily intake of 150 milligrams. Now, iodine ensures proper thyroid function. The thyroid's in charge of our metabolism and regulates our hormones. Now, if you don't like seaweed, you can buy iodized salt to add to your food, or if you regularly eat bread, they add it in there as well. So this meal comes out to 500 calories with 26 grams of protein. This was just a light lunch for me. You can see the macros I'm trying to hit. I also added some homemade red cabbage sauerkraut with ginger, which went nicely with the dish. You know when they say a plant-based diet is low in iron? Yeah, if you're eating the wrong foods. Now, I've already hit my recommended daily intake, and you're getting plenty of vitamin C from the sauerkraut and the greens, and that will help to absorb the iron. Now, if you're meeting your calories and eating predominantly whole foods from different sources, there should be no issue with all these bars being at the green by the end of the day. Now, I must say the oven method works the best because there's a bit of moisture still in the tofu. Cooking it for 20 to 30 minutes really dries it out and gives it a nice texture. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. I know it will be in my weekly rotation. And if you've learned something new, subscribe. We do weekly content. And if you are interested in the health claims, I've put the articles in the show notes. If you have any questions, don't be shy. Leave a comment. See you in the next one.